Now we are going to go take a look at a panel that I know a lot of people are very excited about. We're going to go listen to what Kojima has to say about Death Stranding. Let's check it out.
Please welcome Jeff Keighley.
You to welcome some special guests to the stage. We had the Game Awards a few nights ago in LA. Some of you guys are probably there, right? Thank you. Well, it was an amazing night, and one of the most important things to me was to pay tribute to a good friend of mine who will be out here momentarily. He revealed a new trailer for his game, Death Stranding. There's lots to talk about. This will be the first time I'll be able to ask him some questions about what we all saw. And believe me, we all have questions about it. So without any further ado, it is my great honor again to introduce to you an industry icon in the truest sense of the word. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the one and only Hideo Kojima. I love it. Thank you so much. All right, so Mr. Kojima, we had a big week. Congratulations on your Industry Icon Award. Death Stranding, of course we know, announced at E3 at the PlayStation press conference, and then you shared a new trailer with us at the Game Awards. We were honored to debut that at the start of the show. We can see some of the new imagery here with Guillermo del Toro. And Mads, of course. So, first of all, I think most of you guys have seen the trailer, but I understand that you may have a special version prepared for the fans here at PSX.
はい。映像は一緒なんですけど、
Yes, the video is the
音
same,
楽が全然違います。
but the music is completely different.
E3 の時にI'll Keep Coming の曲を使いましたけど、ローロアの曲
For
を
E3, we used
使って、
I'll Keep Coming,
まあ特
Low
殊な
Roar. So for this
PSX 用の
version, we have
トレー
another
ラー
song
に
of Low Roar. We made a special version
で
for PSX.
歌詞を考えながら見ていただくとかなり印象が違う。
So if you pay attention to the lyrics while watching, the trailer will look completely
ぜ
different.
ひ楽しんでください。
So please enjoy it.
ローロア版です。
Please
It's the
enjoy.
Low Roar version.
Heard you call my name while I'm passing out. The mistake I've made, it can't be turned around. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I went one for one before casting out. The mistake I've made, I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I took the easy way out. I wanna feel something again, memorable. I wanna feel something again, memorable. Feel something again, memorable. I feel something again,
PlayStation.
Amazing. Incredible. Now, we're going to get to links between this trailer and the E3 trailer in a second, but let's talk about the music, because that comes from a band that we also heard in the E3 trailer, Low Roar. So tell us about it. And what is this? You've got a...
アーティストなんですけど、
It's an artist from Iceland.
2年前にたまたまアイスランド行った時に、CD ショップでかかってた曲で。
So 2 years ago, when I went to Iceland, it was a song that just happened to be playing at that record store. I loved it, and I
Easy
did-
Way Out.
In the E3 trailer, we used a song from Low Roar, and this time we made this version. And we just we were just announcing we're making the analog version of the soundtrack from Mondo Records.
はい、ちょっと限定発売です
It will be a limited
Amazing
edition,
art. Very cool.
使ってください
so please get it.
Wow. All right, well, that's nice vinyl that's happening. Now, we have 2 seats here for special guests that will be coming out, so stay tuned for that. But first of all, did want to talk to you a little bit about the trailer. A lot of questions online about what we saw there. First, maybe tell us about Guillermo and Mads and putting them in this game. I'm not sure how much you're going to tell us about the characters, but tell us, how did it come about getting to have Guillermo and Mads featured in this game?
まあ、マッツさんはもう昔から大ファンで、まあ、どうしても会いたかったので、友人の、ニコラス・レフン監督通じて連絡先をもらってでアポ取って会うことになりました。
So I've been a Mets fan from a long time, and I wanted to meet him. I really wanted to meet him. So through my friend Nicolas Winding Refn, director, I got his contact and, well, set up a meeting with him.
でデルトロ監督とかも非常に昔からの友達なんですけど、実はノーマン・リーダースの住所っていうか連絡先もらったのもデルトロ監督からなんで、非常にこうなんかこう縁がある感じがします。
And also, I've been a long-time friend of Guillermo del Toro, and actually, he's the one that gave me the contact for Norman Reedus. So it all comes together. It is all tying it together.
でデス・ストランディングでノーマンと一緒にやるっていう時にデルトロもちょっと寂しそうな顔をしてたので、まあ、一緒に脚本を書くことっていうのはなかなかないと思うんで、お互いクリエイターなんで喧嘩すると思うんですけど、じゃあ出演してくれますかっていうと OK っていうことなんで、今回出てもらいました。
So for Death Stranding, when I told him that I would be contacting Norman for this, he looked a little bit sad, a little bit lonely, and we both know we're both creators, so we both know that if we work together, we would probably get into a fight. If we try to write the script together, it wouldn't work. But still, I asked him, would you like to perform in the game, and he agreed. So that's how it went.
Now, Guillermo, obviously, we know you guys were working on another project that didn't come to light. He's in this game. I guess is he acting? Is he going to help you sort of on the story or consult? Or what will his involvement be in this game?
デルトロ監督は、3D スキャンですね。顔と体と手と、あらゆる表情はもう撮ってあります。
So Guillermo is, we 3D scan him. So we already scanned his face, his body, his hands, all kind of expressions that he has.
衣装とかもキャプチャーしています。
We capture him in different clothes.
で、実際に演じる人は別の人になります。声と動きは別の人になります。
Now, for the person that will actually be performing for this character will be someone else. The voice and the movements will be someone else.
僕がデルトロ監督を独占してしまうと彼の新作が遅れてしまうので、そこは映画に専念してもらうということで。
And the reason is I cannot take too much time from Guillermo because he would get behind in his own projects. So I want him to focus on his movies.
でノーマンとマッツさんは当然、3D スキャン、それから声も表情も演技もパフォーマンスキャプチャーも全部やっていただきます。
Now, when it comes to Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, of course, we're 3D scanning them. They will be doing their voices. They will be doing all their performance capture.
本物のノーマンとマッツさんでしたから。
So you pretty much will have the real Norman and the real Mads in there.
Wow. Very, very cool. Are we going to see any female characters in this world? Are there more people to cast?
当然女性の方も出てきます。
Of course, we will have female characters, but we're not ready to announce that yet.
まあノーマンとマッツさんだけでもええかなと思いましたけど、まあ女性もいっぱい出てきます。
I'm starting to believe that with Norman and Mads we have enough, but no, of course we'll have female characters too.
We can't wait to see more. Now, what can you tell us about this new character, Mads' character? He seems to have some interesting abilities. We see him sort of, disappearing. Tell us, is he the antagonist in this game? Is he someone you're going to fight against?
ちょっと詳しくは言えませんけど、まあノーマンがプレイヤーですね。
Can't get too much in that, but Norman is the main character.
いろんな運命を
Will be
背
the
負ってい
player
る主
character.
人公です。
He will be the main character. of the
それ
game.
に対する、まあライバルというか敵というか
He'll
そういう大きな位置づけの
Kind of the antagonist, the
人物が
rival,
マッツ・ミ
the
ケルセン。
enemy. Overall, will be Mads for this.
Okay. Now, a lot of people online have been speculating lately. They take this trailer and they compare it to the E3 trailer. Starts in a similar way with footprints. There's some moments where people may be babies. There's some links there. People are wondering, even if you take some of the footage, it may seem like a moment where Norman does something in the E3 trailer is the baby in Guillermo's contraption there. Is there a link between the two trailers? Should people be looking for ways to sort of compare them?
そうですね、いろんなところにヒントをこう隠しているというか入れ込んであるので、まあ、発売まで、完成までもっと時間かかりますので、それまで皆さんでいろいろ討論していただいて想像して楽しんでいただくと。で、それも一つのゲームだと思うので、そういう作り方をしています。
Yeah, there are definitely many hints in there. I want people to enjoy this. It will take a while for us to be able to actually release this game. So in the meantime, I want people to engage in these discussions. I believe that in itself, it's a game, and I want people to play with this. So I'm intentional making this in this way.
Well, the trailer was incredible, and as I mentioned on stage at the Game Awards, it was real in-engine footage, 4K resolution running on a PlayStation 4 Pro. Looks absolutely incredible. And I think a lot of folks have been wondering and speculating since then, maybe this means you've selected your game engine and we saw something that was running in real time. At the end of the trailer, there's this new logo, PS4 Kojima Productions we've seen. There's this new logo, Decima. So everyone's been kind of speculating online, what does this logo mean? Can you tell us now what this means?
今回のトレーラーはプレイステーションプロのリアルタイムの 4K の映像です。
So yeah, as you mentioned, for this trailer, it is running on the PlayStation 4 Pro in real
で
time.
なかなかプレレンダーでしょって信じない人もいますけど、あれちゃんと動いてます。
A lot of people tell me, okay, that's pre-rendered. There's no way there's real time, but it is running in real time.
でそれを可能にしているのがこのエンジンなんですけども、
And what is making that possible is the game engine.
ゼロからの立ち上げなんで、ある有名なスタジオのエンジンを借りて共同コラボをして開発して、しているのがデシマエンジンになります。
So we're starting from scratch. So we're collaborating with a certain studio, a certain famous studio. We're collaborating on this new engine, and this game engine is what is making this possible.
All right, well, I think a lot of people have been wondering about it. Is it potentially time to introduce the technical partner?
Yes.
All right, take a look at this video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Guerrilla Games, Herman Hulst, and the lead system architect of PlayStation 4, Mark Cerny.
Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Hi. See you.
Herman,
Jeff.
good to see you. Thanks so much. Mark, good to see you. All right, well, this is some big news.
Hey, Ken.
A lot of people have been wondering and speculating on the engine that Mr. Kojima will be working on. And as you can see, Guerrilla Games is going to be partnering with Mr. Kojima on this Decima engine that we'll talk much more about here. And Mark, as many of you probably saw this year, helped Mr. Kojima really find the right partner to work with.
Tech writer.
Mark Cerny, we finally got him to join Twitter, and you probably saw their exploits traveling around the world, meeting many different potential partners that you could work with. So the first thing that I think a lot of us are wondering about is Decima. What is this? Is it a new engine? Herman, maybe you can tell us. We saw Horizon. This is the Guerrilla Games engine, but you're sort of branding it now as this Decima engine?
Absolutely. So Decima is the Horizon Zero Dawn engine.
Yeah.
And in essence, it's the engine that all Guerrilla Games so far have run on, but it's evolved. But it's fair to say that it's taken a quantum leap in the last couple of years to get it ready for this project.
Right.
And so we can talk about it a lot more. I mean, it's a lot more than just a rendering engine. It involves AI, physics, logics. It's got the entire world creation tool suite in it. And I would argue that the engine probably is kind of like a state of philosophy of game development as well. But that's in essence what the Decima engine is.
Okay. Now, Mark, wanted to bring you into the conversation because you've been a great partner to Mr. Kojima and helping him, get his new studio ready and build. It's not just building a studio; it's finding the right engine, technology, team to bring this to life. And it sounds like one of the initial goals was to go on this tour to look at the state of the art around the industry and visit a bunch of the first-party partners who could potentially team up with Mr. Kojima. Tell us, when you started on this tour, what was the goal? You were trying to help him find the right partner?
Yes. So unfortunately, Kojima-san needed to leave his technology with his former employer. we went on a quest to find an engine for the game. And I asked Kojima-san, and he brought a number of people with him. I asked them for 2 weeks. Because we weren't just looking for the best technology, we also had to find a team that Kojima Productions could collaborate well with. So it's the approach to technology, it's the corporate culture. We started out in the States, and it was pretty clear that as Kojima-san made lifelong friends instantly at all these meetings, that in terms of collaboration, it was going to go pretty smoothly with any number of the teams. But the big unknown was engine, because most of the teams make the engine just for their own title. It's not productized in the way that an Unreal or Unity is.
Yeah. So, you played the role of matchmaker here, and you said States, went throughout Europe. I think many of you saw probably on social media that these guys had quite the tour. You've been around the industry for so long, Mark, and have seen develop many games and work with many partners. Maybe talk a little bit about what you think Mr. Kojima's philosophy is of game development, and why ultimately when you brought them to Herman and Guerrilla, why you thought that was going to be a good fit, sort of in terms of how they approach games.
I think, if you look at both of the companies, there's a tremendous independence among the very key people on the project. Of course, they're on the same project and there's solid direction from above, but for example, on the technology side at Guerrilla Games, McKeel is making a lot of key decisions. And I think there's a real similarity there between the companies that helps the collaboration. This is not sort of dictated from above. It's really the teams working together on a lower level there.
Yeah. Mr. Kojima, you met with a lot of developers, looked at a lot of different technologies. When did it become clear to you that Guerrilla was going to be the right partner?
ですね、もう1月にマークさんと世界中回ったんですけど、テクノロジーとやっぱり人なんですね。このセット別々ではなくて2つとも合わないと、相性が合わないといいものを作れないんで、そういう意味ではもう最初に会った瞬間にゲリラだという気持ちはありました。
So in this world tour that we went in January all over the world, it has to be technology and people. They cannot be separate. These two have to come together. And in that regard, from the first moment I met Guerrilla, I had a very good feeling about this.
デシマエンジンすごくオープンワールドに最適な素晴らしいエンジンなのと、やっぱりゲリラの皆さんが目指しているところはすごく高いんですよね。で僕らも高いつもりですけど、彼はもっと高くて、で、ゲーム作りって宇宙に行くようなもんなんで、普通は月面に、何十年か前に人類が行ったんですけど、僕らは月面に行こうとか火星に行こうとか思ってますけど、いやいや皆さんはそれ以上に土星に一緒に行こうよって話だったんで、やっぱりこことやるべきだという気持ちは高かったですね、その瞬間に。
The Decima engine is a fantastic engine, very appropriate to work on open worlds. But in that regard, the people there also, we try to aim high, but people in Guerrilla aim even higher. Making games in a way is like going to space. And several years ago, we all went to the moon, and we started telling them we're aiming for the moon and Mars. And Guerrilla came and was like, well, let's go to Jupiter together. So that was a great feeling that they are aiming really high, and that felt really good.
One more thing. もう一個すごいのはこれですけど、
Also, this was very impressive.
最初にマークさんとゲリラさんのとこ行って、いきなり挨拶の後に、エンジンの総数を僕にくれたんです。契約も何もしてないんですけど。
So,
NDA も結んでないのに。
One more thing is this box that you see. So when we first met Guerrilla, right after saying hi, introducing each other, they gave me this box, which is the source code of their engine. Before making any contracts or anything, they just gave me this.
だってこれゲリラの今までの蓄積なんで財産であるはずのものを僕にいきなり使ってくださいって言うんで、そこでもう胸が熱くなったという。
So this box is the treasure of Guerrilla. It symbolizes everything that they've been working on so far. And just meeting me and immediately handing this, made me feel very special. Give me a very special feeling.
ヘルマンさん狂ってますよ。
I'm very confident that Herman is completely insane.
Yeah. No, so for us, obviously, when you're a creative studio, it is just generally fun to share. You've worked on this so long, and you get another group of people that, through whatever circumstances in the industry, found themselves without an engine. Our first instinct was, how can we help?
Yeah.
Right? That's how it started, just as engine sharing, and then it very, very quickly evolved into a much deeper collaboration. Yeah. But that was the instinct. Let's just, for the sake of making games, all of us, let's just share that with Kojima-san's team.
Thank you.
We're all here to help. Now, the name. Tell us a bit about the branding of this. You said, Herman, it's an engine that you guys have been working on, but hasn't had this name before. So is this a joint collaboration to come up with this name? What does the name mean? Share that?
So, this stuff is important, right? As I said earlier, an engine is not just about technology, it's about a philosophy, so you got to think this through. There are a couple of motivations, and maybe Hideo can add to it, but Decima is a Greek goddess of childbirth, so there's a really nice connection with creativity. But there's another kind of special Dutch little link, and maybe Hideo can elaborate on that.
はい。もう一つ日本の出島っていうのがあるんですけど、
In Japan, it's called Dejima.
江戸時代に日本が鎖国状態にあって海外との貿易を禁止しますという時代がありました。
So in Japan, in the Edo period, they had a self-imposed isolationism philosophy where they prohibited trading partners, trading with other countries.
九州の長崎に出島というところを作ってここだけでは貿易していいっていう最初ポルトガルが来たんですけどその後すぐ帰ってその後200年間オランダがそこで貿易をしてたと日本と交流してたっていう時期があるそれを出島って言います。
Now, only in this place called Kyushu in Nagasaki, we made an island that allowed commerce with other countries. Specifically, first Portugal came, but they left right afterwards. And then for 200 years, there was commerce between Japan and Netherlands through the city. So there's this history.
でその間に蘭学というのがあってオランダからのテクノロジーとか文化とか医学とかそういうのが日本に来て今の日本があって非常にオランダと日本っていうのをその昔から、すごく近かったというのが分かります。なので、ヘルマンさんのエンジンも、出島というのは非常にいいネーミングだと思いますね。
And also through all this came the Rangaku, which is the studies from the Netherlands, all the technology from Netherlands, medicine, all this made it into the Japanese culture. So actually Netherlands and Japan have a very long history of collaboration, of being close together. And having the name of the engine being Decima Dejima in Japanese, I think it's a fantastic touch from Herman.
So next time I'm in Japan, let's travel there together to see if it's still near Nagasaki.
手島長崎 OK はい日本語でももともとオランダ語だったことが非常に多いんですよこの時代に来たのが
Actually, there are many words in Japanese that have their roots from words from the Netherlands in Dutch because
Really? Yes. Like which ones?
ランドセルとかおてんばとか
for example, Lancel, the bag that kids from elementary school carry, this is a Dutch term.
Okay. Cool. Being schooled here in my language. Love it.
Now, Herman, let's talk a bit more about the features of the engine and I know you have a little video here that'll talk a little bit about some of the technology and the what goes into the Decima engine. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, Gorilla's always been known for the visual splendor of the games and a lot of detail in it. So what we're showing here on the big screen is that Decima engine can now pull off this full detail on a very vast open world as well that's filled with these robots. This is our physically based rendering at work here. So you see the detail that we're able to pull off, make it the material expression and the hair and the metal are pretty much tangible. But the Decima engine is not just about rendering. It's about a lot more things such as animation, AI. We're given an example here of how the engine handles crowds in a very detailed urban setting, which is important to bring such a vast open world to life. And because the world is so big, we count on global systems as well, such as time of day, such as volumetric cloud simulation that you see here. as well as weather simulation. So all of these dynamic systems are really important for us to bring the world to life. That's kind of the Decima engine in a nutshell, if you will, in a tech demo style.
Well, it looks incredible. From the perspective of this engine, obviously you're using it in Horizon Zero Dawn as well. And I know sometimes with engines, collaborations, it's not just here's the code drop, go off and splinter off and go do your own thing. But it sounds like this is something where as you update the engine, Mr. Kojima will have access to updates over time, right?
当然すごく優秀なエンジンで、描画も優秀ですし、オープンワールドの、にも最適なんですけど、同じエンジンを使って同じ世界を作っても仕方がないですね。
Yeah, of course. I mean, it is a fantastic engine. It is brilliant when it comes to rendering, when it comes to creating open worlds. But if we create the same world using the same engine, there's no point to that.
で、ホライズンはすごくアースティックな世界ですし、デス・ストランディングはちょっとフォトリアルな世界にしたかったので、それをちょっと改良しないとダメなんで。
So Horizon has this fantastic artistic world, and in Death Stranding we're aiming for something very photoreal. So in that regard, we needed to do some adjustments, some improvements.
で、僕がこだわっているのは物理ベースのライティングなんで、そこを調整して変更したものを、ゲリラさんに渡して、それを共通言語にするっていう、そういう作業を日々やってます。
So for me, I pay a lot of attention in physically based lighting. So in our studio, we took care of that. We made several adjustments to improve that. We gave that back to Guerrilla, and this process is day in and day out, going back and forth.
で、これガラス部屋っていうのをまた作りまして。
So here we created again what we call the glass room.
物理ベースのライティングが正しいかどうかっていうのを、感覚で分かるために実際に自分たちの使っているミーティングルームを、デジタルで作ってます。
So in order to understand how accurate is our physical-based lighting, we create a meeting room that we actually have in the office, and here we use it as a reference of how accurate is our lighting being.
ここでリフレクションとかライティングのおかしいところを発見して、ゲリラさんに、伝えて、そこでコラボしながらさらにソリッドにしていくっていう作業をしてます。
So here we check the reflections, how the lighting is working. We give that feedback back to Guerrilla, and this makes improvements and pushes the engine forward.
あと僕らそのカットシーン好きなので、シネマティックのツールをすごくもっと、使えるように作ったりっていうのを今やって、それを共有しようと思ってます。
And also we're very fond of cutscenes of cinematic scenes, so that for those parts we're also giving feedback to Guerrilla, so they make adjustments to this, and it is a task that we're handling together.
Wow. Amazing. Oh, there's Matt's
model.
These are the textures. Without textures, sorry.
That's incredible to see what you're able to do with it inside the world. So this, the great thing here is what we saw just now and at the Game Awards. This is in engine, so now you're building assets that will be in the final game. So this is effectively playable now, right?
当然もっと良くなります。
Of course, yeah, but by the time you see it in the game, it will look much better than this.
It looks pretty good now. Well, and that's one thing I think people are wondering about. I've seen lots of the technological partnerships where, I think Mark could test this too. It's like you really have to have the right partners that can work together on the technology. It's not just specific to one game, but can scale across multiple teams and projects. Mark, I know one thing that was important to you is that, if this collaboration is going to happen, you wanted to build it up in a way that both studios could really benefit from it and grow from it. So could you tell us maybe a bit about your philosophy of once, these guys had met and said, hey, we do want to work together, how you sort of thought about the ways that they could actually collaborate and continue to benefit each other?
So, of course, this all started with essentially a donation of technology from Guerrilla Games to Kojima Productions, but it very quickly has evolved to a collaboration. The companies are actually working in the same code base, which I have never seen before. You can't point at the code and say this is Kojima's code and this is Guerrilla's code. I mean, of course, the bulk of it is Guerrilla's code at this point, but it is the same code base. And they're together trying to take game technology to the next level. And the next logical step in that is a certain degree of co-location, of bringing the staff together in the same location to add more depth to the collaboration.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something that I know is important to both of you guys as well. So, Mr. Kojima, I know. Do you want to maybe talk a bit about your approach to how the teams will be even more tightly integrated moving forward?
そうです。今、ゲリラさんと木星に行こうと思ってますけど、それで、ホライズン作ってますし、僕らはデス・ストランディング作ってます。木星。
Yeah, so right now we're trying to get to Jupiter with Guerrilla. So in that regard, that's what they're working on. Horizon, we're working on Death Stranding.
でも将来的にはもっと外宇宙、深宇宙にディープスペースに行きたいので、そのための準備もしてます。
But in the future, we want to go together to even further to the deep space. So we're making preparations for this.
でゲリラさん特にやっぱりテクノロジーがすごいので、ゲリラさんの中に小島プロダクションの出島を作ろうと思ってます。
So of course, Guerrilla has this impressive technology. So we want to make the Sigma team within Guerrilla.
主にテクノロジーのチームを、ゲリラさんの中で、共有して、お互い、外宇宙に行けるように作りたいと、そういうふうに進めたいと思っています。
So we want to make this team that we will be very heavily focused on technology and will prepare us to go to the deep space.
So essentially, within Guerrilla Games in Amsterdam, we will have a small satellite studio of Kojima Productions. How awesome is that? Like, I'm pretty excited about it, guys.
That's pretty amazing, yeah.
ぜひ近くの方は参加ください。
So
近くの方というか。
please, anyone that is around that area, please join.
Wow.
They all will want to come to Amsterdam now.
Hiring now.
デス・ストランディングもつなぐっていうゲーム性なんですけども、制作もつなぐっていうストランドで、制作をしてますので、そういう意味でも非常に重要な、計画になります。
Death Stranding, we're developing Death Stranding with this concept of creating connections, but not only the game has this concept, but also the development of the game itself. We're trying to make as many connections through this strand. So in that regard, this project is extremely important for us.
Right. Now, as you move forward in this collaboration, what I'm sure is exciting for you, Herman, is this will hopefully help the engine get even better for your games as well, right? So it's going to sort of go both ways, where you'll learn things from Kojima.
So absolutely, it started as Mark said with a donation, and it very quickly, the teams hit it off. There's a lot of mutual friendships now. Every day there's conference calls, there's forums, there's a lot of social forums as well. There have been flights back and forth of people, Guerrilla guys, explaining kind of the tribal knowledge, of which there is, 15 years worth of tribal knowledge, back into the Kojima production staff.
Right.
And then we're now going to take that a step further and actually have people on site. But the benefit for us at Guerrilla is that we really have an additional set of brains on the technology. Right? Every studio has this notion of peer reviews, right? You bounce ideas back and forth, you make each other better and stronger. But this is exceptional that we have people from an entirely different background that have worked on a different set of projects, adding to the code base and to the ideas, and that we can share again with the entire team back at Guerrilla in Amsterdam.
Fantastic.
最初先ほどそのソースコードの写真出ましたけど、あれをもらった時にヘリマさんが言ったことあるんですね。
So first, when we first met, I showed the picture of the code of the wooden box that they gave me, and at that point Herman said something.
で普通はうちのエンジンを提供しますからどうぞ使ってください、名前出してくださいみたいなことを言うはずなんですけど、ヘリマさんは違いました。
So in general, what we would expect is, here is an engine, please use it and please make an announcement or something. And that's it.
一緒に未来を作りましょうっていうことを言われたので、もう一緒にやるしかないと。
But Herman said, with this, we're going together to create the future. And at that point, I felt I had no choice but to do this.
So it worked.
Well, Horizon looks amazing, and of course, Death Stranding looks incredible as well. Mark, maybe since you have such a great purview of the system and the engine and possibilities, what do you get excited about where sort of the technology is going to lead both these guys in terms of the types of games they're going to build and how they're going to be able to sort of take advantage of of the hardware. I mean, we're seeing some really amazing things in both these games technically. But tell us, I mean, this game is a little further out, taking advantage of PS4 Pro. What are the types of things that they're doing with this engine that you think really take advantage of the hardware and the architecture?
I think what's notable about the Guerrilla Games technology is that it's not just graphics technology. It's a great number of things. You design a world. You say what the flora and the fauna are going to be. You script AI for the enemies. It's a very deep and intuitive tool set. And I have absolutely no idea where it's going to head. I mean, the one thing we know when game companies work on technology is it's going to continue to evolve and get better. I could not hazard a guess as to whether they're going to take it.
But sometimes you got to do things that you don't know what's going to be the end result. It feels good, and you're just going to have to go for it. And I think this is a good example of that. We know it's going to be great, and how exactly it will pan out, we'll figure it out.
Awesome.
テクノロジーの話じゃないんですけど、宇宙に行こうとすると普通は行けないんですよ。人間は宇宙に行けないから。
This is not necessarily about technology, but when you first think of trying to go to space, you're not supposed to go to space. This is impossible. There's no air. You're not supposed to even be there.
でテクノロジーを使って行くんですけど、行くぞっていう絶対行ってやるっていう気持ちがないと絶対行けないです。
And in the end, we achieved going to space through the use of technology, but the first thing that you need to do that is the absolute conviction of I am going to go no matter what.
で僕はそこは人より意志が強いと思ってたんですけど、ゲリラさんと付き合ってたら結構すごいなと思ってですね、普通なら諦めるんですよ。絶対諦めないですね。最後まで頑張るっていう、僕らもやっぱりすごく折れそうな時があるんですけど、ゲリラさんと一緒にならもっと先まで行けそうな気がします。
And in that regard, I felt somehow alone that our team had this conviction. But working with Guerrilla, these guys never give up. Sometimes we go through hard times, and we want to take a step back to give up. But working with Guerrilla, I just feel like that I'm so convinced that we're going to go even further.
Great. So, boom! Right?
And then final question, are Herman and Mark going to get to be characters in Death Stranding as part of this partnership?
Maybe. 出たいですかね。
I don't know. Do you want to?
Absolutely. I didn't hear the question, Jeff, but say it again.
Oh, if you get to be a character
ぜひ
in...
出てください。ぜひ
I'm in. Yeah. Which one?
I don't know. Many people online think I'm a little baby. I'm like...
Not the character inside the tank, please.
Exactly. This is true. All right. Well, it's so exciting to see that
考えました。今考えました。
Wait. It just came to me.
街に行くとヘルマンさん出てくるんです。
You go to the city and Herman comes up.
なんか箱持ってるんです。
He brings a box to you.
ほんなら中にソースコード入ってる。
You open the box and the source code is in that box.
Deal. I'm in.
casting decision made right here.
It's a dream come true.
But what about poor Mark?
マークさんは一緒に旅する人かもしれ
He
ない。
goes back.
Mark is the guy that is going to travel with the character in a bike,
That's right, bike.
Or maybe not.
Performance capture session soon. All right. Well, we're so excited, Mr. Kojima, to see so much of Death Stranding. To hear that you're on this great engine. We want to thank Mark for really making this possible at a time when you were looking for partners and direction. I think Mark was a big part of guiding you in the right direction, and Herman for being willing and open to collaborating with Kojima. I think this is true friendship and partnership right here between the three of these guys to be able to make this game happen. I think we all benefit from that when we see incredible creativity like
Thanks,
that on
Jeff.
the screen.
It's all for the sake of making games, you guys.
That's right, and they're going to be some amazing games. Thank you so much for being here. Stay tuned.
PlayStation